sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is
It is their right. Yes.
The right that someone has. All of our rights exist in context.
What is the context for second medical opinion?
Because you disrespected the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you see in the group, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Good evening to you, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. This is the Freddie Kissoon Show for March 18th, 2026. We are broadcasting from the National Park. In fact, the children's playground, architecture through the efforts of First Lady. As you can see in the background is a very lovely play castle. Thanks for being with us all the time. We start this evening with the absurdity of the leader of the People's National Congress, Aubrey Norton. We think Mr. Norton may be losing it, and he should right away. Let me give you two examples of the idiotic level. I don't think there's anything libelous in that, so I'm using it again. Let me give you an example of the idiotic level to which Aubrey Norton has descended to. And for a man I've known for so long, now it's just sad at his decline. Last year, one of Guyana's leading entrepreneurs, a billionaire guy who company builds hospitals, he said, and I quote, "People don't know, but me and Aubrey Norton all right." And Dexter Todd, another absurd figure in the PNC, sent a legal notice to Mr. Ahmad, the CEO of Sheriff, who made that remark, threatening libel. Even a 10-year-old schoolboy in primary school would know that is not only comical and asinine, it's incredible that a billionaire who invests in Guyana said, "People don't know, but me and Aubrey Norton are all right." How could that be a damage to Norton's character when the man is a respected businessman, is a multi-billionaire, has never been charged, has never had any brush with the law, with foreign government? How could his association with Norton, who is far more controversial than the businessman, how could Norton be liable for that? So after that, every human on planet Earth has to be careful with what they say about Norton. Well, I am going to run the risk of libel. I don't know if Craig wants to do it, but I've known Norton a long time, and I have no problems with Norton. I don't share his politics, and I think his political time has come. But me and Aubrey are all right. So I don't know if he wants to sue for libel for that. Now, even if Aubrey, didn't want, if Aubrey wanted to sue for libel, if Aubrey was annoyed, Dexter Todd is a lawyer. Dexter Todd should have said to him, "Man, Aubrey, no, this is not libelous." But Dexter Todd sent the legal notice to Ahmad. Now that man is a very, very, very weird, I don't know what word to use. That man is a foolish guy in the People's National Congress list of parliamentarians. Let me tell you what this man did in 2024 and 2025. This man announced in an interview with the Kaito News that there is an international forensic team in Guyana that is independently investigating the Adriana Young death. He said the group cannot be identified, they cannot be made public. But this is a team investigating. So the team met the police commissioner, and the police commissioner nearly had a heart attack because all the investigators had masks on their face. So the police commissioner said, "Why are you wearing that mask?" And the men said, "We cannot be identified. We are on a secret mission, investigation Adriana Young thing." So I wrote several columns on Adriana Young, and the people met with me to ask me what is my take on Adriana Young's death. And they wore masks. So I said, "Why are you wearing masks?" He said, "This investigation team has to remain secret." That is what Dexter Todd told us about the investigating team, and no one knows up to this day what they found out. So Dexter Todd, as a lawyer, could have said to Norton, a man saying, "Look, you him all right." How could that constitute libel? He didn't say anything about your character, and the man is not a multiple racist or an embezzler that was in jail. The man is a serious entrepreneur, been in hospitals in Guyana, has the largest security firm in Guyana. But I don't know what happened. I know the man didn't settle with Norton, not at all. You should hear the man's reaction. Now, look at what I'm showing you in my hand. Did you see that? Norton threatens legal action against General Secretary of Wind, Odessa Primus, over defamation claims. This man has been in politics 40 years, has said so many things about people, has had accusations made against him, the most serious of which is by Odessa Kissoon. And you're in politics. You have to give and take. Here is what the lady said, and here is what Norton wants to sue for. I'm quoting from the Guyana Chronicle on page 12. "Tell your people," well, she's speaking to Norton in a Facebook post, "tell your people who collecting ballot money." You know, when you read that all over the world, that is between politicians. You then you pocket a John Jones. You can't tell me anything. John Jones is minute. I know John Jones is finance you, your party. That is jejune. That is arid. That is expected. But from a politician like Norton, who's been 45 years in politics, what is libelous about? Tell your people who collecting ballot money, man, come on, Norton. Your time has come. You're embarrassing the PNC. Surely, man, Norton, you must have heard so many things like that about all of us. You have said things about people. And how come you're threatening Vanessa Kissoon with a libel with Leonard Craig? What has happened to Aubrey Norton?
You must note that the legal letter also came from Dexter Todd's firm.
Oh God, Todd again?
No, that's the firm in which it came from.
Yeah, but Todd had to approve it. Mr. Todd, you're embarrassing yourself. Please resign. Not from Parliament, from Guyana. And maybe from the world.
What prompted Odessa to say that was Norton saying at a press conference
that Win in bed with
that Win is in bed with the PPP.
Which has implications for the lady's integrity.
Yes, more than what?
Gosh, he's saying you're fooling people.
Yeah.
You're no opposition party.
Yeah. You're actually a splint of the PPP or what? Yeah, exactly.
Man, come on.
So you said that, and then somebody say, reply by saying, you need to explain X or Y.
But before you're gone, you were a big one in AFC, and during the 5 years in government, you must have crossed paths with Norton Yard talk. You were Norton, all right?
I have no problems with Norton. I can't recall having a falling out of any sort with Norton.
So you and him all right, yes or no?
So I would guess that I being here all right.
You getting a rival with. You getting a rival with. But go on.
Yeah. But apart from that, Norton, I don't understand the.
Is he losing it?
I think so. I think
people tell him they're
I think after the number of years, I think Norton has become.
That's sad. That's sad. He had a good analytical mind.
I think Norton should really rest himself, because the strategy to accuse Win of being part of the PPP is a failing one. If the PNC needs to attack Win, you got to attack Win on its own terms, on its own behavior, on the character of its leaders, its leader and followers and so on. But by saying Win is a part of the PPP, when the PPP is aggressively trying to dismantle Win, aggressively, and so people are not going to buy it, people are going to think that you're mad. For me though, Freddie, I think it's a good strategy for the PNC to attack Win.
Because it shows that it's trying to rehabilitate itself.
Right. I think it's a good strategy to attack Win. And I don't believe
but the lady Primus just reply in kind and say now.
Right.
You better check out who taking ballot money.
But the strategy to attack Win can't be the direction that Norton is using. It can't be. It got to be something else. But to say what he is saying is the wrongest possible way to attack Win. But I believe it's good politics not to coalesce with a party that declare that they want to bury you or they want to, and so on. And I think any collaboration with Win should be strategic, specific. We are collaborating with you on this water tank, and only when the water tank is black, we will cooperate. Other than that, we are fighting for the same set of support base. And I can't collaborate with the person who is here to sink me. Otherwise, PNC would die a faster death. So that is what I think. But I think Norton is using the worst possible way of going after Win. There's so many more things that they could use. And I think he has attacked the wrong aspect of it. And Norton, I can't say grew up, because Norton has so many years in politics. Norton probably need to tell me to grow up in politics. But Norton has grown. I think he is over the hill, politically that is. And he should walk away with whatever dignity he has left, and and just be what you call an elder statesman, a godfather to the party, advise other people on, certain other political things that come with experience that a lot of the young people wouldn't have, and then move off the sea. I think that is what Norton should do, because clearly his public interface is exposing him more and more. And one would thought that after such a severe defeat, that Norton would have gone to the drawing board. Norton would have called on all the experience available to him in the PNC and you know, forge a new way and all of that, but Norton is just continuing on the same trajectory, and apparently like people around him is making him even more dotish. Sorry to be so aggressive, to use such an aggressive word, but the people around him, if
If you say the
Dexter
people
Todd,
around him is making him dotish,
more dotish.
more dotish, is that libelous?
I don't
think
know.
people
I don't
should.
think so.
If you say people are silly, stupid, idiotic, man, that comes with the territory, man.
But
Libel is when you saying people don't have character and they do very criminal things
Right.
and they do very immoral things. You know what's libel? Libel is saying you steal from the bank. Libel is saying you commit fraud.
but
I mean,
Todd
Dexter.
has doctor before his name. He has
excuse me, doctor what?
I'm not sure, but
it can't be grammar.
but I've heard him being described as Dr.
Doctor.
Todd. I don't want to
Doctor.
assail his achievements.
But you have to
and
know its achievement before you say that.
but
Doctor in what?
I accept it on face value. I don't know doctor in what. I'm just accepting it on face value until I have proof of otherwise.
It wouldn't be in grammar. It wouldn't be in grammar.
Right? And if he is around Norton, and he is supposed to be one of Guyana's top flight lawyers, he is supposed to guide Norton with respect to the law to say, man, that is too much of thing. Even if he had a case, it's too much on the periphery. It's too much.
Do you
thing.
know? Let me cut
And-
you. Do you know what who the leader relies on? The leader relies on his financial advisor
Yeah.
and his legal advisor, and the legal advisor has to say no. Don't go down that route.
And apart from that,
Come on, leader. It's not what you think.
apart
Yeah.
from that, politicians, and more so Odessa Primus is a member of parliament, politicians are supposed to have little more room into libelous, yes, on the border of libel. Politicians are supposed to have, you know, a little bit of room to contest. Once you don't outrightly, slanderously, you know, attack
slander,
people.
when you get sued, I'm telling you, Leonard, it's saying things that make the world feel you got no good in you.
Yeah.
You got no character. It's making people feel that you have done things
And not,
that are
not just
acceptable.
anybody, right-thinking members of society.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what's the call a married man or homosexual?
No, and then
you know what's to say a man having a relationship with a woman is a married man? Those are things that we could cause a divorce.
And then Norton
those are
said
libelous things.
that what Primus said
we are right.
not only would lower his esteem, that will affect his future income in academia and all kinds of things, internationally, all kinds of things he said. But
He said, I'm not on Facebook, he said the thing what she said would damage him and
yes,
lower him in the eyes.
yes.
Oh my God, Aubrey, I didn't read the thing. Aubrey, man, you gotta go, man. You gotta go for
Yeah,
what
so-
you're making the PNC
it
look
is
bad.
so
and
childish.
Why
It is
you
so
bothering with
childish.
Dexter Todd?
And I have no love whatsoever for anything Win. None whatsoever. I think Win is not a serious political party.
And it has no substance.
I think they don't have substance. I think they were just formed to save Asruddin's ass. And you know, you can't. These little child's play thing. That can't be an opposition to Win.
No,
that can't be a replacement for Win. That can't be the way you're trying to get back your support base from Win. It can't be. What Norton is doing or has done is just to engender more sympathy for Win. Yeah, if you understand what I'm saying.
Saying that the PNC is so ignominiously hibernating, it makes Wynne look good, yeah. And Primus and her loyal response was so facetious that people going to laugh at the PNC. The lady said, look, I didn't say which Bharat. There is a country named Bharat in India.
A county.
So like the people in that county got to sue me. Guys, I just said, you're taking Bharat money. I mean, like, you got to be specific. What about this? What about the 3,000? What about the 300,000 American that Smith gave y'all at the Barbadian airport, you and your sister? Those are libelous things. Better find out who taking Bharat money. Man, that comes with the 30 man, you know. But I don't think they understand.
Primus, when you read what Primus said in her write-up on Facebook, it makes Aubrey's entire press conference, brought in Aubrey's entire press conference to naught.
And you imagine that lady has no experience.
No, exactly. And what she said brought the entire PNC, the entire Norton's press conference trying to go out against Wynne and all of that. Primus just dismantled everything in her write-up. And I don't.
Primus is building her career.
Exactly. and I don't understand Norton. And again, I'm saying, I'm repeating myself, that I believe it is good political strategy to go after Wynne, for PNC to go after Wynne. Because for me, I cannot cooperate with somebody who is the cause of my downfall, who taking food off my table. Exactly.
My territory.
I can't cooperate with you. I don't care what people say about unity of the opposition. You unify the opposition because you're all opposition MPs only when it is strategic to you, or when it is strategic to a larger cause in the country, or something like that. But other than that, I think it is very, very good strategy. But not that, Norton. No, Norton. No. Not that.
But Leonard, I recall two judges Gino Prasad and the other one in the Katiu's case, when Katiu sued Baba Jagdeo for calling our low line. I remember in a libel case, Judge Gino Prasad said politicians must be given some latitude to fight in the arena, to say, it is when you say a politician have two women and the man is a married man and he's gone see this young 16-year-old
girl. If you say something specific like that. Right. But to just shoot out and say,
you talking to me, you then you pocket a Winston man. Them is things you just. But could it be that he need to change his lawyer? What about that?
The man is part
Dr. Todd?
Yeah, Dr. Todd is now part of the PNC's top flight leadership architecture. So I don't see how he would change, and change from Todd to who? Darren Wade, maybe? I don't know who he gonna change to.
But I know there are lawyers that will sit down and tell the leader, I know Annie Nandalal, and that inside out. And I could see Nandalal telling Mr. Jagdeo, Dr. Ali, the president, and his ministers, let me take a look at it. On the surface, it don't look like we got a case. But I want to go more into it. I could see Anil saying that.
Yeah.
I could see it.
But what is brilliant about what Primus did, you know who she took as her lawyer? UC Anderson. And UC Anderson,
the man
who cooperated in the past, yes. But he got his work to do. And what Primus just did is weaken
Yeah, that
the
was,
PNC's legal team.
That was a master stroke.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Take an unknown lawyer.
Right.
Take an unknown lawyer.
And so Norton and his team is losing all the way. He has lost this little piece of battle all the way around. They've just lost it.
I can't understand how he does descending to that level. I knew this man well. I know he has an analytical mind.
You know, Guyanese got a thing called crotchety. Man getting big. How old is he these days?
In 2016, he was 60.
And now it's 2026, he gotta be 70.
Yeah, right.
69, 70.
Yeah.
I
went to his birthday.
He looks good for his age, man.
Yeah.
That's if he's 70 and he's that conversant and all of that. He looks good for his age.
Oh, he looks good for his age.
Yeah.
He walks good. Look, I got knee problem.
But his mental acuity kind of questionable. Yeah.
And I don't think, and he's also losing it politically. When you have a rich entrepreneur like Mr. Ahmad of Sheriff, and the man said, you made Aubrey strike right away, call Ahmad.
Yes.
I said, man, you say
send me you are rich, let's write the $20 million. You understand what I'm saying?
Man, Ahmad, you telling the country me, you are lying for me.
Yes,
well then
exactly. I think that was a fundraising opportunity.
Yeah.
And
the man, he could have called the man by saying, I tell the old country me, yeah, right, man. I gotta save face and give you something.
Yeah. And that is politics.
That is politics. Which political party don't do that?
Yes.
Anybody who come and tell me no political party don't do that.
Look, Trump the other day just went and do what the Americans call dignified transfer when people die in war and so on. Trump did take a photograph while he is there and do a letter to raise money. Well, I mean, America's up in arms against it because they're saying he's using a solemn occasion to raise funds. But the point I'm making here is that politicians, one, use every convenient opportunity to raise funds. As Kemraj Ramjitan always say, that money is the milk, is the mother's milk of politics. Whether you like it or not, no political party gets far without money. If, for example, if you look at Amanzo Walton Desir's party, if they had a benefactor and that was showering the party with money, they probably would have gotten 2 seats. If they had somebody, you remember they contested only 6 regions, and they could have contested 10 regions and fly people in to let them here, there, everywhere. They probably, right? So money makes a big difference with your politics.
I got a revelation for you that can make Primus climb up and look down at Norton and laugh at me. I called parliamentarian Odessa Primus, and I said, we'd like you to be on the show. Look at the controversy with Mr. Norton. And I said, Ms. Primus, we can assure you, I am giving you my word as someone who's been 38 years in journalism in the media. No one is going to ambush you, and if you're going to come on the program, please let us know your parameters and perimeters, and so we wouldn't go in that area. And if the question is unsettling, just say, can we move on? You know what Ms. Primus told me? Ms. Primus told me? I know myself. I answer any questions. I don't have to say which question I don't want. But do you know in the arena of politics what a positive outlook that is?
Yeah.
She is saying, I come in your program and me running for nothing. And for a lady who's just less than a year in politics, They got people 25, 30 years in politics fighting for question you can
we
answer.
called some of the top leaders of the PNC. And they said they can't come until Norton tell them to come.
And
they can't deal with subjects that only Norton approve. You could imagine that?
I called
and they were top leaders, they were executive members.
I called PPP leaders who say, let me run this with Mr. Jagdeo. Let me run my appearance with Mr. Jagdeo. Others was, it's across the board. It's across the board. So I'm looking forward to Ms. Primus, because if she comes and she bats away, she showed them what a politician should be. And the lady is less than a year old in politics. I tried to make the lady comfortable. The lady told me, no, I don't want to hear that. I know who I am, and I'm comfortable with any question you have to ask me. So, you know.
I would admire confidence like that in any politician.
Well, the person we admired with that for the opposition was Ganesh Mahipal. Until he slapped us and kicked us by saying, these shows must give both sides, and we gave him both sides. Right in this Benab that we're in, we had Ganesh Mahipal on the Freddie Kissoon show, and he rained down, cussed down, if when I leave me, I will go to the party. I will go with the party. I will join the party in which you lead abuse you down. And he said you must give both sides. And we didn't give only both sides. We give three sides: the government side, the PNC side, plus Manish Mahipal's side. And that man told us he will correct it. But you see, Leonard, when these things happen, they don't know people are looking. They don't know people are looking. I want to move on to another subject that has really lacerated my psyche as someone who's been around a long, long time in Guyanese politics. Let me get you the Kaicho News. And I'm showing what is in the front page of the Kaicho News. Look at this man here. And look at that Caucasian man. And what is the headline above him? I'm holding it. That is Joe Kent, the director of U.S. Counterterrorism Center, saying that he resigned as the counterterrorism advisor to Mr. Trump because Iran didn't pose any threat. That is front page. This newspaper that I have no relation with and think has gone astray, this newspaper more than 10 times carry front page on what went on in Gaza. The Stabroek News is closed. And if you hear the outpouring of praise for a paper that was a vehicle for Western thought, you know during the election what Stabroek did? And it doesn't exist. Stabroek did an editorial and said, the government needs to do, the PPP needs to do what Western developed democracies do. During the campaign, you pull back, you hold back in spending, etc. That is an unmitigated, ugly
hold back in spending
lie.
For what reason?
That's what they said, that you curtail your activities. No Western country does that.
They mean if you're in office.
Yeah. That is a myth.
So you must try to lose the election or something.
That's what
they're saying.
You know what those people Stabroek did? And how can these people praise them? Stabroek died last Sunday. The day before the Saturday, Stabroek did an editorial, please read it, in which it criticized democracy in Guyana and said democracy is more about election, is more than election. It's about embracing the population, consulting them. And one of the Caribbean's top scholars that Stabroek admires, that the government admires, that the Caribbean governments admire. This man's a top-class scholar. Sent me an email, which I'm going to be using. He said, don't quote him. If I'm quoting him, he's going to rework it. But you should hear how the man responded to Stabroek editorial. That is idealistic nonsense. I live in and I'm not calling the country. I live in, and no government ever consult us. The only time we hear from them is when they push a manifesto during election time in our mailbox.
Only this day
And
early.
people praising this imperialist newspaper.
Yeah, I think it's Monday or so. I had a discussion with somebody who called, and a friend who called, and we were talking, and they're talking about Guyanese politics and bringing up all kind of idealistic things of what politics. And I said, man, look across the world. These kinds of things you're talking about don't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen. You know, and sometimes people have got to translate from what is ideal, and ideal for whom, that's another discussion by itself, to what is real and practical, you know, in your country. And I don't think there is any government in recent memory that is more responsive to public need than the current government.
Leonard, don't even go that far. We have the rule of law in Guyana. We have the separation of power. We have a fairly acceptable level of freedom of press. And I'm speaking now in all these items, I'm speaking comparatively. What we don't have, what we have that other countries don't have, is the executive tolerance for terrible, violent, scurrilous behavior from its critics that will not be tolerated in many, many other countries in the world. You could talk about the president's mother, the way these people spoke about the president's mother, accuse the president's mother of being involved in corruption. Look what David Hines says, look what and the Stabroek News for 5 years since Dr. Ali came into have been scurrilously abusing this man, his government, his governance. This newspaper have been for 5 years putting forward political behavior of Western countries and telling us we must emulate it. And when you look at what those Western governments have done and are doing over the Palestinian issue, when you look at the totalitarian laws in Germany in which you cannot say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And I see people pouring out praise in this newspaper to former Ambassador Ford and another one, P.I. Gomes.
But in
look
defense,
what this newspaper is like.
In defense of Stabroek News, though, Stabroek News had its time, has made its contribution.
That is what they need to say. That is what makes them so barefaced. That there's a dichotomy. It came at a time when it was needed.
Yes, yes,
it performed its function. We are grateful. I wrote for it. I wrote for it for 5 years. I saw how it held, how it accountable, how it talks about bad governance about ministers. But then it went astray like so many newspapers. Fox News is a threat to American democracy. And every day you see the outpouring and nobody won't contextualize their insipid, pathological, misdirected eulogy. You know.
The other issue I want to pivot to is going around a lot in social media especially, that a couple of ministers One minister is Christian, and their photograph showing him praying in a Muslim mosque. Another person is Hindu, went to the mosque, and a lot of people in the opposition are saying these ministers being of another religion and going into another place of worship is desecrating that place of worship and making it a mockery. And I believe that people in the opposition, like, they don't know what to oppose really. Because Freddie, you over and over you keep saying you don't believe in God, but I believe if my church is one of them, yeah. But I believe if my church has an activity and I invite you, you gotta come.
No, but there's a bigger picture. A minister speaks
I come
for
into the bigger
government.
picture. Exactly.
A minister
That's the bigger
is
picture,
not
right?
a mechanic in a mechanic shop who practices Islam every day and then he gone in. Those people have to show respect for institutions by being there and mingling with people to show
with
that
your constituents. Now, when you are elected as a minister, when you're elected as a member of the government, the president, whomever, you become public property, and that is why a lot of things that you do is under scrutiny. The ministers will face scrutiny that I wouldn't. The ministers will face scrutiny that you wouldn't. And you would face scrutiny that the ordinary teacher leaving home, going to teach and going back home would not face. Because we put ourselves out here in the public space. Some of us put ourselves up for people to elect us, and then we win office, and then you go into office. You become public property. And you can't tell a member of the public that I can't associate with you because I'm a different religion from you, when Guyana is a place that practice social cohesion and you coexist with things. We do not have a Christian republic or an Islamic republic where you have laws like, for example, in Iran, which is an Islamic republic, and laws forbid, a member of the Islamic faith to commingle with members of Jewish faith or some other faith. We don't have that in Guyana. And it therefore means, for example, when you have some public events like the opening of a bridge, the opening of some health center, hospital, something, you have people from the three most practice faith come up and they pray. A Christian come up, a cleric, whatever, and you pray. That is how we practice our administration and politics in Guyana.
I just want to take a slight issue with that thing with Iran. A lot of what, I don't know if that happens in Iran. I don't know the regulation that says...
There is. The Islamic Republic prevents that.
You got to be careful where you're getting that from. We have been presented with pictures of North Korea, Iran, that comes from the Western press. I want to hear a Molvi, a Imam, a Mulana describe these regulations to me from in Iran. I would like to hear that. But I'm just saying a lot of these things come to us through the Western press.
No, I understand. I can't discriminate between the information I'm receiving.
We need to do that in a world dominated by Western culture. But there's something in the same context I want to talk about. If the president of Guyana name a part of this park after the cricketer Hetmeyer, that is not the PPP doing it. That's the president. Now, I read something that journalist Kiana Wilberg wrote. Kiana Wilberg said, I can't accept the motto, one Guyana in our passport. You can't bring politics in our passport. The Attorney General...
Keanu Wilberg, you sure?
Yeah. I wrote a column repudiating what she said.
But you sure it's Keanu Wilberg?
Wilberg, yeah. It's
I thought it was somebody else.
No, Keanu Wilberg wrote that.
When?
I did a whole column rebutting what she said.
When was that?
My column was about 2 weeks ago on that.
You sure it's Keanu Wilberg?
You just telling me you sure about Iran is do this and that.
Okay.
I wrote a column on what the lady said.
I think I read something like that, but I wasn't sure it was her.
I had the lady's thing in front of me when I was doing my column rejecting what she said.
Okay.
She said, I can't accept that kind of politics in our passport. So I replied to her saying, the man is the president of Guyana. He coined something called One Guyana to unite the nation he presides over. And in response to those things that it's political, the Attorney General said, show me any connection between the People's Progressive Party and this One Guyana thing of the president. So I replied to Wilberg and saying, the man is the president. We have one people, one nation, one destiny. That came from the government when Fox Bonner was president. It didn't come from the PNC. I say the coat of arms came from the government when the PNC was in power, but it was a government thing. One Guyana came from a man that was elected to do those kinds of things. Where is the politics in it? But just Google, it's in Guyana Standard.
If it's in Guyana Standard, it's not Keanu Wilberg. That's what I'm saying. It is.
Craig, Keanu Wilberg is the editor-in-chief, and not Abina Rockcliffe of Guyana Standard. Keanu Rockcliffe is the editor-in-chief.
You're mixing up two names, you know.
Right. Abina Rockcliffe writes for, is the editor of Guyana Standard. Keanu Wilberg is the editor-in-chief and does opinion pieces. And one of those opinion pieces she did was on that one.
Okay, I read the thing, but I swear it was Abina Rockcliffe it came from.
It was done by Keanu Wilberg, who was a founding member with Abina Rockcliffe of Guyana Standard. And she uses her byline, editor-in-chief.
Okay.
Right? It means you're going to get licks from people listening to the program because you're not doing your work.
No, I read it, but I thought I saw Abina Rockcliffe somewhere there. That's why I kept asking.
What has happened is by you reading the thing and you know Abina Rockcliffe writes for the Guyana Standard and does these things, and you just the Keanu Wilberg thing slipped through the radar.
Okay.
But that was done by
Okay.
That was done by Keanu Wilberg. Right. Not Abina Rockcliffe. So I think go ahead.
Yeah. So just to tie up, by all means, I think people who are elected and serving in public office, by all means, they should mix with people in their various religious settings. And I don't think that if I'm in public office and I'm invited, I'm Christian, and if I'm invited to a Muslim place of worship and I attend because I want to be among my constituents, it's any form of...
Mahipal got it wrong, like Keanu Wilberg. He got it wrong because the people go there, the Hindu man who's a minister, go there as a minister that speaks for the Guyanese people. What Mahipal did is say, oh look, Michael Singh from the PPP is a Hindu gone into the mosque. Michael Singh as a PPP. I think they're not saying the Minister of Education.
Right.
And they make that distinction, and that was the mistake Keanu Wilberg made when she said politics in the passport. It was a presidential insignia. You know, and I read what Mahipal was saying is that you're trying to you're insulting people's religion
Yeah.
when you go there when it's just for show. But that's your obligation.
Yeah, I believe that you think, and I believe it's ridiculous. But deeper than that, though, I believe that if somebody wants to, because a lot of people grow up in multi-religious homes, a lot of Christians are married to Muslims.
I married to a Muslim woman.
A lot of Hindus are married to Muslims and so on. And you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, but you marry into a Muslim family, and you want to show respect for that family and the history of your spouse, and you go and you sit down in the church and so on. It doesn't mean nothing. It just shows you respect the people. It don't mean you're converted or I mean.
But even if you're not
on so many fronts, you know.
But even if you're not a minister, isn't there a kind of moral obligation if you're a well-known Mulvi or a well-known Pandit to show appreciation for other religions and other cultures by having a presence?
Yeah, even if it's just a gesture that we live together and we occupy the same space, whether you believe or don't believe, you just share, camaraderie and so on by engaging. Because if you understand what's the opposite of that, can you imagine what's the opposite of that? Where government ministers take a position that I am a Muslim, a Muslim, and I want nothing to do with Hinduism. You could imagine Christian people are saying that and so on, imagine what's the opposite. And so I think Ganesh Maipal and the others are out of place. And
Leonard, we need to recapture a space in this country where people do not decapitate the messenger, but look at the message. We need a space where people have some kind, reclaim a space where you don't have to be, there don't have to be isms, capitalism, Marxism, fascism. You need to deal with issues, and that is where I felt the Stabroek news went wrong. And I quote you in my Chronicle column today, Wednesday, in which you put it over rightfully, where they had gone so insanely far that they saw nothing good about the president. And I think Stabroek News lost its way, and Kaicho News lost its way, in that they didn't want to save their credibility. They just want to be anti. And I think they could have presented a more credible face by saying, yeah, that was a good move by the president. We hope he emulates that bright spot that he demonstrated. We hope his ministers. And then the next month, when the minister emulates the president, you say that. But Stabroek News and the Kaicho News just went insanely overboard. And I think the Stabroek News, as a paper that started out so beautifully and contributed so meaningfully, could have gone in that direction. And that's my beef with the people who are praising them. See the thing in context. Read the editorials the past 5 years. It was hostile.
Also deduced, Freddie, a lady wrote the president to say Mashramani is disruptive.
Yeah, that's a member of the Mulatto Creole group that believes we will be poorer for having oil. She said that openly. I criticized her about 3 times in column. Melinda Janky.
Yes.
Yeah. She's an outright anti-PPP person.
But we have had MASH since whenever. Now she knows that MASH is disruptive. So
Has she lived in Brazil?
Sometimes I wonder how these people process life in Guyana, how they conceive of what's happening, how they view other people other than themselves. Anyway, it was utter ridiculous in my opinion. But
But that's the point I'm making. Janky is so anti-PPP that if the president driving down the road and jump in a trench and save a guy, presidents don't do that.
Yeah.
He brought down the presidency.
Yes. It's like
Do you know
everything there is a right.
Do you
right,
know
right.
what Retchred said? A girl is accused that after being disciplined, light the whole building and burn 22 kids to death. That this girl must be properly counseled by the psychiatrist. Her parents must be allowed in, and they should drop 22 murder charge and charge her with arson. Then Lincoln Lewis went to extreme and said, drop the charge against the girl. You are accused of killing 22 persons. And because a group don't like the government, they sympathize with this alleged homicidal accused. I think that is where we have gone wrong. Leonard, I keep reading these praise for the Stabroek News, and I say to myself, I have been living in this country since I came back in '84. I read the Stabroek News every single day. I see the direction these people going in. I see the danger. I saw what Stabroek News did in September 2020 when they implied that 2 cousins in Cottonfield was killed by Indian people celebrating PPP victory. And when I think of the things the Stabroek News have done, and I see this outpouring, former Ambassador Gomes, former Ambassador Ford, this intellectual from this university who's Guyanese, say, where were these people the past 5 years?
Freddie, I want to get this thing in quick before we think, because I think we got about 3 minutes left. There's an exchange between you and Takumo Gonsei, where you wrote that you procured explosive chemicals for him, and he said he's going to take you to court, he wants an investigation and all of that. Can you clarify for members of the public?
Well, he denied that. I don't know why he can take me to court for an explosive substance. I don't know what he would have done with it. I never accused him. And the explosive substance he asked for, I don't know why I described it's battery water from my mother-in-law's place. Battery water that I told him we had stored there. I don't know what he wanted the black battery water for. I don't know battery water is any explosive thing. So if he sues me to court, I will tell the court. The court will ask me what is the explosive substance, and I will tell the court what it is. The court, therefore, his lawyer has to have to rule that battery water, because nobody knows what is it. In the court, they have to ask me what it is that I give him. What is it that he requested? And I'm saying it's battery water, a can of battery water. No, it is for him that sued to prove that battery water can destroy a country. Right. The second thing he said, well, I didn't hear him talk about legal thing, because saying you supply explosive chemical to a person doesn't accuse them of doing anything. So I don't think the legal thing bothers me. Is what he said he wants the police to investigate. Well, I'm going to reply to that and quote what Rupert Rupnerine said. Twice, Rupert Rupnerine said in a book edited by Clayman Chung that they were stockpiling weapons to overthrow Burnham. Then he gave an interview with a guy called John Gimlet, publishing a book called The Wild Coast, in which he sat down at that house that is owned by Jocelyn down in Convenience Street, and gave the man testimony of how they were stockpiling guns to overthrow, to create the erection. And he said to John Gimlet,
Insurrection.
yeah, he said to John Gimlet, the author, the guns were right up top there, pointing to upstairs where he lived. Why Ogunse don't want the police to investigate Whipney before he died for saying that in 2 books? The book is called The Wild Coast by John Gimlet, and we'll put
What became of those guns, though?
Look who you are, you know. Takumo Gunse, I don't know Takunse was in the WPA leadership. You wouldn't want to ask him?
I wonder if David Hines knows what happened to those guns.
Well, I think those are legitimate questions to ask Ogunse, because Ogunse was part of the security committee of the WPA, which Moses Bagwan describes in his autobiography. And Takumo Ogunse has been an executive member of the WPA since the 80s. So Ogunse, you should put that question to Ogunse.
Oh.
But what is an explosive chemical? I'm asking, is battery water an explosive chemical?
I don't know.
For a bucket of battery water.
I don't know, buddy. And when was that?
1975.
Oh, okay.
So he wants the police to investigate something 55 years ago. The statute of limitations still applies?
I don't know, but I think he probably think it's recent. But the two of you ought to know. But I don't believe that is battery water you're talking about. You're just saying that for the camera. I don't believe that.
I'm telling you it's battery water. He asked me for a kind of battery water.
No, you're talking about battery acid rather than battery water. Battery water is pure rainwater.
But that I had battery water stored in a can, and he asked me for the can of battery water.
You're talking about the corrosive type of battery water.
I talking about battery water that you put in the battery.
No, the battery water you put in the battery is ordinary rainwater, buddy.
I don't know what he wanted to do with it.
Ordinary distilled water. So that can't be anyway.
No, but then but then I put a wrong appellation.
Well, then you gotta go back and correct that, because it seems as though you had C4 or some sort of chemical in a thing.
Battery water.
And then the man go and
no, but battery water.
Well, you gotta,
but I'm saying now it's battery water.
Well, you gotta go back in the column and you gotta say that you give the man explosive.
I don't have to satisfy the political wildness of Ogunse. The operator signal will be over a minute. Thanks for being with us. Hope you enjoyed the program. We will have a guest on Friday. On behalf of Leonard Craig, catch you later. Bye-bye.